Okay, so continuing on, we've done bar graphs and pie charts. Now let's have a look at the last option that we could use here. So we could also use a table. So a table basically would be Australia, and then it would have like, you maybe could have that across the top, and then you could have down here loose forwards, and then New Zealand, and then you just actually have the numbers 12, 12, and then halfback, 4 and 6. So you'd actually have the numbers going down. Okay, so it actually gives you the information really clearly and concisely. You're not being distracted by maybe pretty colors and like lots of things in there, but it's obviously a bit boring. So tables, pros, you have all your information there, easy to read. All the information is there. It's clearly there. Yeah, it's clear. All right. So cons, again, it's a bit boring. It's obviously not as visually impactful. Just going to get rid of this. So a bit boring, not visually impactful. Don't know. There's a C in there. Okay. And it's harder to compare. Because sometimes it's nice to have like these spaces in between and be like, well, yeah, like obviously they've got more props in New Zealand than they do in Australia. You can quite clearly see, not just based on the numbers, but based on like the space that it's taking up. Okay, so for this question, if you gave one valid data display with an advantage or disadvantage, so if you just kind of said, look, we could put this into a pie chart, the reason being you'd only need 2 of them, or you say, put it into a pie chart, unfortunately, the problem would be that it doesn't add up to 100, so you'd have to, it might be a bit difficult to do it. That would give you a U. Okay, so one valid data display, so one valid option with an advantage or disadvantage would give you an achieved. Okay, so that's really easy to do. Now, if you were looking for a merit, you'd need to have, you could talk about bar graphs here. You could say bar graph and give a pro and a con. So one of each for one thing. So that would give you a merit. Or you could have 2 different data displays. So you say bar graph or pie chart and give me the pros for both of them or the cons for both of them, just only one of each. Then you could get the merit off that. But if you're looking for the full excellence, then you need to have at least 2 data displays with at least 3 valid statements. So you could say bar graph and pie chart, pros and cons of the bar graph, and pros of the pie chart. So, there's no reason that you can't actually do pros and cons for 3 of these, or at least 2 of these, and that would give you an easy excellence mark. And for this question, you only need 1 excellence mark to give you an E7 across it. So that's 7 marks, 2 away from an achieve. So it's really worth taking the time on questions like this.